Welcome to Weekends with Whitney. Coming up in today's show, see how a Halloween costume ballooned into helping save children's lives. It's a golden story creating a sensation. Then the Bulldog Pepper Jelly Sisters are back. See what they're whipping up this time. Plus, Dr. Nick helps us confront the elephant in the room. But first, a golden story creating quite a sensation. Ow! Saving children's lives is Daniel Hoffman's life's work.
So I've been working with kids for the better part of a decade. That was my first job in the Air Force. I worked at a pediatric outpatient unit and just kind of fell in love with kids.
He's now a physician's assistant in the pediatric ER at Our Lady of the Lake. It was here at work 2 years ago when he got a golden idea.
October 2017, one of my coworkers was making one of the Golden Girls leotards for her daughter for a Halloween costume. And I just said, man, that would be really cool to be a Golden Girl for Halloween. Well, I kind of ran out of time, but 2018, I started getting materials and making it, and I did. Now, it was just for like a house party. I was like, this is too good to just wear it to some party and that's it. So one of my friends, I said, let's do a photo shoot, and we did.
They took pictures across LSU's campus.
Y'all ready for this?
He let her share them on social media.
She put it on the internet, and lo and behold,
a star was born. Folks went wild October 19th when the pictures posted. Golden Guy was an instant social media sensation, getting more than 2,000 shares. But his real identity was a mystery. Users posting things like, "Who is this?" More importantly, "Who did you lose a bet to?" The media mystery continued on TV. WBRZ posting, "Mystery Golden Man stuns social media." New Orleans Fox 8 writing, "Fishnets and all, this Golden Girl is taking over the internet." The next day, The Advocate solved the mystery with its article, "Who's Golden Boy?" Pediatric ERPA surprises LSU community with hilarious Golden Girl photos. That story led to another golden opportunity.
The Advocate called me up for an interview, and he's like, well, what's next? What's next? What are you doing? I was like, well, look for me in Spanish Town. I had just planned on getting the group of guys and marching in it. I had no idea. Next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call saying, hey, you want to be king of Spanish Town? And I was like, was blown away. Unreal, unreal.
The next day marked a marketing idea.
My friend who put the initial pictures up said, hey, let's make t-shirts. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, where's the profits going? She said, well, why not you? And I was like, no, I don't want that money. Let's give it to Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital.
In 2 weeks, they raised more than $1,000, selling t-shirts, buttons, and stickers online and on campus on game days.
When I initially started, I was going on campus to kind of kind of spread the word and take donations, and a lot of people came up to me and said, man, do you even know what you're doing for this town? I was like, yeah, it's pretty amazing. So they're like, yeah, you've really lifted our spirits, so to speak.
They echoed those sentiments online with comments like, "You make me smile. I love you. Cannot love this enough. And he's my favorite." He's a favorite with kids too.
I've had children come up and ask me if I'm a superhero, which is you know, very heart-touching. I say, no, not quite yet.
Leonard Augustus says he may be as brave as a superhero.
You've seen his outfit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a brave fellow.
When Leonard first saw the pictures online, he had to respond.
And I just commented how fabulous I thought it was, and I said, why am I not a part of this? And then he sent me a message. He goes, would you really be interested? And I said, I think it looks great. And the next thing I know, I'm being introduced to the whole group. And he's like, welcome Leonard, he's on the team now. So it was that easy.
Not so easy, dancing 2.5 miles. They practiced for it, but didn't train for it.
I know exactly who you could be. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on.
I think the first time that this group that just marched in the Spanish Town Parade were all together doing the routine was Spanish Town Parade. It was the first time we were all together, which cracks me up. I was like, this is the most laid back experience ever. But we're there together for the first time at the parade, and we just gel, and it was just fun. It was like no pressure, no judgment. You know, it's like, I love the fact that most of the guys have beards and just kind of like, just your average Joes. You know, they're not like, you know, everybody's not like perfect, and everybody's not, you know, it's just real.
And real sore during and after the 2-hour parade.
The comments from the guys afterwards are hysterical, talking about their kneecaps wanting to pop off, their legs, they can't walk the next day, you know, because this is, people forget how physical and hard it is, and dancing the whole way. So one guy said, okay, no more dips, because in the dance we do this dip, and it's like, man, that was kind of rough. I mean, I think my knees were kind of cracking.
It's Daniel's first crack at any of this, and it all started with sewing a costume.
In the Boy Scouts, I learned a little bit of sewing, and then through my job, learning how to suture, I think both of those came in handy.
He's experienced his first Mardi Gras ball. First time in a parade, much less its king.
There were times when it was just deafening, and I really couldn't even think. I really couldn't think, it was so loud. I was like, wow, these people are just loving it. I mean, that was incredible, it really was.
It's the first time Leonard's marched since high school. But his second to be in Spanish Town.
The way was with you when you were queen. This was the first time I've marched in a parade since I was in high school with Scotlandville's marching band. I've not marched in a parade since. So
And you probably had an instrument then.
I played tuba, yeah. But this time it was really great. The Spanish Town crowd, the energy's so good, and you know, it was so nice too to be with them. You know, after a few years ago, they had that kind of controversy, and it was like, I saw the diversity in the crowd, and it was so fun, so much fun, and I was so proud of Baton Rouge once again. You know, for just getting over things and just moving forward.
Together, they're moving the needle, strengthening the fabric of our community, one dance, one T-shirt at a time. They've now raised more than $5,000 for Children's Hospital. T-shirt sales are rising on their Golden Guys Facebook and Instagram pages, and so are the number of guys. They're having a big time, but they're also men on a mission.
They're a great group of guys. They're fun. I mean, you know, they like to have a good time, but At the same time, they kind of know what this troupe is about, you know, and that's promoting and building confidence in others, raising money for Children's Hospital.
Daniel's last 6 months have been unexpected and unforgettable.
We were at the judges' stand, and we were just finished dancing for them, and then all of a sudden you hear this pop, and there's this pink cloud of dust, and then confetti is just kind of trickling down. You're just kind of taking in the moment, looking at the crowd. I mean, all of it was just an unreal experience. It was more than I could ever imagine.
Keep a sharp eye out. You never know where they'll show up next. And still to come, the Bulldog Pepper Jelly Sisters get a little crazy in the kitchen. Then Dr. Nick shows us how to tackle the elephant in the room head on as Weekends with Whitney continues. Kill my feet. Out of style. Instead of trashing them, let's donate them. Your gently used shoes create success for others. The American Business Women's Association in Baton Rouge has launched its Shoes for Success drive. Your shoes create educational opportunities for women locally and around the world. Now through May 15th, drop off shoes at Habitat for Humanity's Restore. Your shoes will be a step in someone else's success.
Again. Hey, John Schneider here. We're gearing up here at John Schneider Studios for
Bo's Extravaganza 2019.
Come out and help celebrate Bo's birthday at Bo's Extravaganza Saturday and Sunday, April 6th and 7th, 2019. Right here at John Schneider Studio. Go to johnschneiderstudios.com or just download my free app. The biggest Dukes of Hazzard anniversary party on the planet.
Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. The zany, effervescent sisters of Bulldog Pepper Jelly take over my kitchen to show us how to make a little magic.
Y'all, everybody can do this. Now, you can't, if you have a sister and you're just hanging out with her, it helps. Like to have me along, I'm just saying.
I need something
you
to
need a
punch a
genius.
hole up in there.
Oh my God. Do it like, that's how Mom and Daddy did it, and bang on the end of it and make it bigger. Oh my God. You could have hit, don't try this at home, please.
A whole can?
Yeah. Okay. So slowly, I'm gonna add the cheese, like slowly. Add the cheese, is that what it means?
Yeah, but when it's steaming, after it steams.
No,
Okay.
we got some little clumps in there. What's going on,
What's
girl?
going on there, Cindy?
I just added the crawfish
It's melting.
to the sausage. And I'm gonna get those a little bit warmed up, and then I'm gonna add these peppers to it. We got some.
Cindy, that's a great idea. Okay. So what we decided to do is, instead of doing like 4 steps, we combined every step, which was Cindy's idea. The garlic pepper jelly is going to go over this little conglomeration here.
Okay,
I've got some in my fridge. If
you can do that. Here it is.
Okay, good.
You're the chef. You the chief. So we're going to put, Cindy's going to do, we decided because it had garlic grated in it, that we would do the garlic pepper jelly to give it that savory, sweet, Cindy.
Kick.
Yes.
Excuse you.
How beautiful is that? Oh, my mouth's watering again.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy, I think
God,
we
this
should
is
just
really
bake it in that beautiful crawfish dish.
Okay.
Do you?
Let's do.
You could do
Yeah.
that.
I do.
It's going to be hard to get the nachos on the bottom, but
What do you mean? It's better than, oh, okay.
no. Don't
You're
worry,
right.
we're putting chips on the bottom. But we can put chips on top. Who says we have to do it this way?
You're right, Chef Whitney.
Whitney?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm
Look,
really more
because-
like
no,
Chef Boyardee.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kim,
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
golden.
give you this spatula and let you do the honors, and I'm gonna cut up some
This I can do.
of this business.
do we want any of the wetness on it?
No,
Okay.
as little as possible. Okay, throw that in the oven for a second.
Oh, without
You're
the
supposed to be
cheese?
in the
Yes.
oven for 5 minutes.
Got it.
Look, Whitney, I did not know you knew how to work an oven.
To change the temperature?
I didn't.
And look, I can even test it.
Impressive.
So I know that my
Yeah,
oven runs about 28 degrees lower than it should. It lies.
Oh, God. Look, I'm putting a little cilantro on there
Okay, cilantro, even better.
and some lime wedges. Okay, those are great.
For more recipes or to follow their journey around the country, you can hit their Facebook page or their website, bulldogpepperjelly.com. And still ahead, Dr. Nick shows us how to confront the big elephant in the room with anyone without stepping on too many toes, as Weekends with Whitney continues. Breck Summer Camps, where an adventure awaits every child.
Where I became a star. Where I made my first shot. Where I crushed the waves. Where I met my wild friends. Where I learned to play. Where I scored the winning point.
So break out of the house and experience a new adventure at Breck's Summer Camps.
Again. Hey, John Schneider here. We're gearing up here at John Schneider Studios for
Bose Extravaganza 2019.
Come out and help celebrate Bo's birthday at Bo's Extravaganza Saturday and Sunday, April 6th and 7th, 2019. Right here at John Schneider Studio. This year will be bigger and better than ever because this year is the 40th anniversary of the Dukes of Hazzard. Go to johnschneiderstudios.com or just download my free app. There's nobody here right now, but in April, there's going to be thousands of people coming right down this road. One of them should be you. Make your plans to come to John Schneider Studios in Holden, Louisiana, April 6th and 7th, 2019 for Bo's Extravaganza, the biggest Dukes of Hazzard anniversary party on the planet. I know, I'm Bo. It's my birthday.
We'll see you here.
Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees. How do you confront the elephant in the room? So many of us ignore it. We never confront it, and that elephant just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And Dr. Nick joins us now to help us slay that elephant.
Well, and as I said, we're not talking about obese people. Everyone, I really believe that everyone who's lived or who is alive understands the concept. There's an elephant in the room. Or there was an elephant in the room. Or when are we going to confront the elephant in the room?
I would say that most of us are dealing with somebody, if not currently, recently, where there's been that elephant in the room. And what did we do with the elephant?
Yes, well, first of all, let's at least give it some kind of operational definition. It's some kind of controversial issue. Or an issue that has disconnected people.
Sure.
And hurt the relationship or hurt in business, at home, families.
It's a fight, an argument, a disagreement.
It's something has happened that has estranged us a little bit from someone or some people. And the elephant becomes sitting there, we're aware of it, but we don't want to confront it because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
Because it could create more conflict, because it could lead to more estrangement. And Whitney, that could be nothing further from the truth. The truth is that we really need to be aware of the elephants, and we need to talk about them.
Okay.
And really there's an elephant in this room that we need to talk about. And it may be something, again, that I'm thinking, let's see, a problem you've had maybe with a relative, okay? And you've been somewhat estranged, and all of a sudden you're thrown together at a party and you're sitting at the table.
Probably not going to bring it up then.
Well, but if it could, well, let's say, all right, maybe not at that moment, but
maybe before you sit down for dinner.
But you're looking for an opportunity to say, oh, we're together. Let's not just act like this didn't happen. Let's talk about it.
You know what I find so strange, and in a way, I'm just going to call it sick. Okay, because it's happened to me, and I was certainly party to it, although I think most of the time I've interrupted it. But how about this friend that you're sideways with? And they say, let's go to lunch. maybe it's for someone's birthday or your birthday, I'm just saying, or lunch, and you think, oh good, we're gonna talk about it. And then you sit there and dessert comes and you've still not talked about it. And then just because you've been together, that other person thinks, well, we're good now.
We're good now.
And you feel better, right, about the relationship, but we still haven't resolved that conflict. But anyway, a lot of times walk away and then the relationship kind of rebuilds, but you've really never talked about what happened.
Well, and what I think you bring up, at least from a human perspective, that person that you're with, they may have thought it was just an aunt.
An aunt?
An aunt, no big deal.
Oh.
And they've moved on.
Oh.
In other words, you might think of it as a huge elephant, and the other person was like, what? I didn't realize that, which is why you bring it up.
Yeah.
It seems to me there's an elephant in the room, huh? Well, let me just get it out what happened, because, and then you might see that it was, the point
that
is
we could
somebody
have overreacted.
could have, but I still say you bring it up.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part about the elephant.
It is.
Somebody's got to be big enough to say, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
And the reason why, again, I think it's difficult is because we're afraid of how it will be handled, which is why it ought to be done with dignity, with a certain amount of professionalism, with objectivity. Mm-hmm. I want to understand what happened. What was my, in your opinion, what was my involvement? Did I do something that I need to be sorry for, or is this something that you want to be sorry for? The point is that we want to reconnect.
Yeah.
And when you think about the elephant, it's almost so big that you can't see each other for the elephant. That issue has, right? It's front and center.
Yeah, and it's completely blocked
your walking
view.
around it, and it's like, wow.
In confronting that elephant, though, I'm reminded of what you always say. When you're talking about that elephant, you don't say, well, you did this, this, and this. I feel like. Always start with that.
And that's why I say you get a sense of what is my part in it. What is my part in it. But what is also so interesting, if you feel like there's an elephant in the room, you know what that also says?
Tell me.
That you value that person.
Oh.
Because you don't really care about the elephant if you don't care about the person.
Well said.
And that's why it needs to be brought up. It's because I love you, I respect you. You are a very significant part of my life. Even if it's a coworker, I want to work with you and get along. This is bothering me. I need to get it out.
Yeah.
May not be bothering you, but usually it is.
Especially if they're honest about it.
It is. Remember, we're just sometimes so afraid that it's going to make a further disconnect when in fact
because it has before.
Well, but I think that it's much more amenable to a closer relationship. I don't have research to back it up, but I just believe when you talk it through with respect and openness and care and concern, you'll get through it. Yeah. Even if you resolve to say, we're not going to resolve it. Now we can move on to having fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Because that's
we're
where
just going to leave that
We're
there.
just going to leave it because we differ on it.
Yeah. I would say, though, probably 90% of the times that I've confronted the elephant in the room, it's always been better. How about for you?
Oh, me too, Whitney.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's only gone bad once or twice.
Me
and
too.
I consider it their stuff.
Well, and I also think to give credit to the person who brings it up, because they're being courageous in the midst of the fear, and saying that we really need to get this worked through. You were going to say something.
I was going to ask if you wanted to tell a little bit about, you had that elephant in the room experience recently.
Yeah, with someone that I care for very much, and it had been estranged, and
you all were at dessert and then not talked about it, right?
And we were somewhere along the lunch that was a real spontaneous lunch, which I love. I love spontaneity.
And so for that person to come and say, let's go do lunch.
Yeah, right. And
was
so
huge.
I'm like, okay.
It's courageous.
But again, 30 minutes into the lunch, I said, we've got to confront the elephant in the room. And this
that person did
said,
what?
Let's go.
Ooh, good.
And we talked it through, and it was just wonderful. Wonderful.
That's
because there's another thing too about life that I think is important when we talk about the elephant. I remember saying to this person, I'm sorry this happened, and I know that our relationship has changed forever. But when we talked about the elephant, we became aware that the relationship changed, but it can get better. Different does not mean worse. Growth and change in a relationship, I think, just as an example, let's say someone who was the baby of the family. I'm just using it.
Sure.
They don't want to be the baby anymore when they're 50. So the relationship needs to change.
Right.
You see, it doesn't mean that it's dead. It means that it's moved into a new chapter.
Maybe it's evolving.
And it's evolving even more into an even more close relationship, deeper relationship.
I like that. All right. Don't be afraid of the elephant in the room.
And one last comment.
Certainly.
Don't be afraid to think it might be an ant and I need to let it go.
Okay.
I just think, I know we didn't talk much about that, but we may sometimes build an elephant that's not there.
We do overblow things.
We can be hurt by something that the person didn't intend to hurt us with.
Right. Which, once again, is why you have to confront it.
And back to what we talked about last week, why you have to ask, what did you hear?
What did you hear?
What did you hear? Because it's much more important for me that you heard what I was trying to say.
Right. And if I didn't, let me rework that.
Let me rework that, because maybe I'm not doing it right, but my intention is sound.
We've all got an elephant in the room. If we don't today, we might next month.
That's right.
Someone.
Have a great Sunday.
Thanks, Dr. Nick. More Weekends with Whitney after this. Thanks for sharing your time with us here on Weekends with Whitney. We hope to see you back here again next week when we shine the spotlight on Chaselyn Jane. That's next week, right here on Weekends with Whitney. Until then, we leave you with this.